being a 90s baby, 91 to be exact, there are things that I am going to be drawn to just for the sake of pure nostalgia. Rose-tinted glasses, you could say. I found Head of the Family recently, and it looks like one of those weird, creepy 90s live-action TV shows, and I'm kind of here for it, especially when I found out that 2 of the inspirations for the movie were actually the Munsters and the 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. It has very mixed reviews online. I can't say I'm surprised, considering what I've read about it, but I'm kind of looking forward to this one, which tends to be famous last words here on my channel. Discovering that a local family, the Stackpools, are a family of mutants, diner owner Lance uses this secret to blackmail them into killing his lover's husband with unforeseen consequences. As always here on my channel, I'm going to go and watch Head of the Family off camera, so that way if you still want to watch this movie, nothing will be spoiled for you. Nobody wants to watch a movie that they have just watched somebody else watch from start to finish. Let me just hold my microphone a moment, but can we just appreciate it? It's so cute.
Tongue is kind of big.
If you've seen this movie, you'll know exactly why I picked that clip. Head of the Family feels very much like a movie that was made for kids who grew up in the late 80s / early 90s, who were too young to actually watch it at the time that it came out, but now see it through these like nostalgia goggles, because that's how I saw it. My favourite movie of all time is The Addams Family from 1991, and this movie feels very much like the adult, distant cousin that they don't speak about. Because the last time I checked, nobody was getting buck wild and bare-assed in The Addams Family, but they certainly are in this. I've seen a lot of reviews where people have said that they would like this movie more without the nudity and the sex scenes. It's like some people are now scared of boobs and innuendos, and as somebody who owns a pair themselves and has seen many more pairs, they're not that scary. Loretta is played by Jacqueline Lovell, aka ex-adult performer Sarah St. James, so they're not exactly going to put clothes on her because people are used to watching her with nothing on. Like, what were you expecting? But that's not what I have an issue with. Now, I understand that this is the 90s, but the number of times that Lance uses a certain slur for somebody with a mental disability that starts with an R, like, not needed, not necessary, really started to grate on me in the end. It was the insult that he used for absolutely everything. Myron's experiments that he does on live people, the aftermath of it is it leaves people in a like lobotomized state or that of a severe mental disability. Paired with that slur in this movie, it wouldn't fly these days. It just wouldn't be considered appropriate. So bear that in mind if you're going to watch this movie. The best part of this movie, though, is the Stackpool family, and I wish that they had been used more, particularly Myron. Myron is the head of the household, but these are actually 4 quads. They're quadruplets, and they're controlled by Myron. He is the brain of the family, so what he telepathically tells them to do, that's what they go and do. And I wish that that had been included more because, yeah, it's the best part of the movie. He's basically Brain from Pinky and the Brain if Brain had 3 pinkies to control. And fun fact, Brain's voice was actually inspired by Orson Welles. No one really has a standout performance in this, but no one is really awful either. Like, you work with the material given. And just today, I have read so many blurbs about what this movie is supposed to be about, and I don't think I have accurately found one that describes this entire movie. The Joan of Arc play that comes out of nowhere, and I wasn't expecting. In fact, I absolutely wasn't expecting it. The problem that I found with this movie is the plot itself. The first hour was fine, made absolute sense, everything flowed into each other. And it's like they knew what they wanted the final 3 minutes to be, but they didn't know how to get from A to B. So instead, they decided to go a bit off the wall and they went from A to 26 and then from 26 to B. In a movie that is only an hour and 22 minutes, for 20 minutes you are left questioning what you're watching. It's sexy, it's actually funny at times, Its horror is very like goofy cheese that often takes a back seat to the like sexy comedy stuff. It's very niche in its audience, I will say that right now, and unless you grew up and you know all of the things that are being referenced in this, it's not going to be a movie for you. Even the soundtrack feels like a 90s live action like kids horror movie. Think Casper the Friendly Ghost movie from 1995. It's not a great movie, but it does exactly what it says on the tin, so I can't be mad at it for delivering on its promise. It's one of those movies where I had a good time watching it, and I probably would watch it down the line, but I would want to watch it with somebody else, because I think it's one of those movies where if you're watching it with somebody else that gets the references and understands where this movie is coming from, it's going to be a better watching experience. I'm going to give Head of the Family a 3 out of 5 stars because I am the niche audience that this movie appeals to, but I do think that there are certain things that could have been done differently to make this a better movie. The last 20 minutes to be exact, but who knows, maybe I am watching this through nostalgia goggles because it's the 90s. So there you have it, my initial thoughts and opinions on Head of the Family from 1996. If you've seen this movie, I would also like to know what your thoughts and opinions are down in the comment section down below. I will be back on Monday with another horror review, and if you're curious about everything that I watch that's horror, you can find me over on Instagram. But until next time, bye!